Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Branchus Creations, and thank you very much for joining me today. It is, I don't know what day it is because there's holidays and stuff. Today's Saturday. Yep, okay. Today is Saturday here, and it is actually a really nice day, and we're heading for extremely unseasonably warm weather, so that will be fun. Air conditioner will probably have to come on. And going to be checking out a few things. I've got a whole bunch of smaller projects to do today. Obviously, the main purpose of today's live stream is to reveal this new product from the house of Kero Mac Mods. I will do my normal thing and say hello to everyone. So, oh, and of course, hello to anyone watching this on the replay. Hello to Patrick Pitts. Hello to Dave. Hello to Steve from Mac84. Frank S. Hello. Gibbertronics. Hello, Gibbertronics. Hope you're going somewhere nice in that airplane. Jared Burma, hello. Kamek Vintage Wheel, hello there. Who else we got? Foxhound477, hello. Colin from This Does Not Compute, hello. Point 5, hello. Pretzel FTW, hello. Kay is here. Kay is the man of the moment. He'll be here to help me out in case I run into any strife. Jack68K, hello. Yeah, I think that's everyone. I think I covered everyone. If I didn't, I apologise. Feel free to say hello again. Roger Salter, hello there. Right, a couple of things I need to talk about. So, I built this the other day. A couple of streams ago, a few streams ago. This is the little SP2SD V2. Has a nice little screen on it. This is also from Kero Mac Mods. It's a great little thing. He sent me a second kit. I have now built that second kit. I built this one using the buttons that he provided. So this one I should be able to make a case for. I'm intending to make a case probably just for this screen size, not necessarily for the big one as well. I need to do something about this because when this sits in with the little, so you got your little header there, and then you plonk that on the header, I sort of think there's a little bit too much clearance there, but that's all right. But I need to put something under there to keep that straight. What else? I have made a couple of changes in here. I have changed the camera that I'm using for my top-down camera. So we'll just have a quick look at that now. There's my top-down camera, and one of the advantages I have now is I've got a remote control that allows me to zoom in, and I can zoom in a long way. Look at that. How good's that? This is, yeah. The thing is, I've just been doing so much stuff lately using a top-down camera, and the other one was old, and so I thought, oh, and this one is old too, but this one's a better quality one. This one is semi-professional, so. And then the side camera, which I just don't use that much. At the moment I've got this camera there. This is my very expensive Canon camera, I'll probably, if that Canon camera's in the house, I might use a different camera for that. So I do actually have a different top-down camera, but I can't run it because the computer gets upset because it's a Logitech C922, and this one here is a Logitech C922, and when I run them both at the same time, I can't control them properly because it thinks they're both the same one. Whichever one gets switched on first is the one that gets the control. Oh, it's so dumb. Which camera are you referring to? The one that I said is my flash camera, Canon one? That one is a Canon XA50. There you go. So you can look that up. A lot of people, YouTubers in particular, they opt for digital SLRs that shoot video, and I can definitely see the advantage in doing that because they've usually got a nice big wide aperture and all that sort of stuff. And of course, if you've already invested in lenses for photography, you can use those same lenses for your videography, which I can really see the advantage in that. But I still like video cameras. I like purpose-built video cameras. So this one here, this actually has XLR audio input, so I can connect all my fancy, expensive microphones to it. It's got, sort of phantom power for the audio. It's got dual SD card recording, so I can drop in 2 SD cards, and I can either record from one, and then when that runs out, it starts on the other one, or I can record on both of them at the same time and have redundancy. So, and it's got a very, very good optical zoom. It shoots 4K, so yeah. The top-down one is actually an older Panasonic, and I'd be blowed if I can remember what the model number is. It's probably here. Panasonic. No, that's not there. It's probably written on the bottom of the thing, which is where I have it mounted. So, yeah, I can't remember. But this is also a semi-professional one. Oh, look, you can see all my oil stains. These are all the oil stains I get when I'm cooking. See, I wear my shirts. I often forget to put an apron on when I'm cooking, and so when the oil splatters up from the frying pan, it splatters on here, and then of course it doesn't come out in the wash. I have to use a special oil treatment stuff, which I have not done. But yeah, this is also a semi-professional camera in that this one also has XLR audio inputs. It shoots 1080p. Yeah. So, anyhow, that's enough of that. Fancy. But anyhow, that's enough about cameras. So I think enough people have probably turned up now. I can actually go in and sort of reveal what's going on. Kay is going to make this available on his website if he hasn't already. He'll be doing it very, very soon. And basically what we have is something designed for the SE30. I'll just zoom in a little bit here so that we can tighten up on it. Now, one of the big problems with an SE30, two big problems really, are the RAM slots and the ROM slot. Let's move this so we can actually see what I'm talking about. ROM slot, RAM slot. Now, these are usually made of plastic. The clips can break. Here, this is a classic example. This is the very first SE30 I ever got, this one here. It's loaded up with a lot of RAM. It's got 64 megabytes plus 8, 72 megabytes of RAM. I got this a very, very long time ago from a guy called Horst, and I made a trade with him. I traded a bunch of stuff in return for the SE30, and I have since recapped it. It was the very first computer I recapped. I made a mess of it, but I still got it to work, and then I went back and cleaned it up and made it look much better. And anyhow, this one has a snapped clip on this side. So when this ROM goes in here, it never really makes a proper good contact. And I can 3D print a clip to go over there to hold it in place, but it is just one of the problems with these, and sometimes even when they have the clips, they still have problems. I mean, a lot of the time when people say, my SE30 isn't working or something like that, if I've had one, like for instance, someone sent me one to repair, and I've repaired it, I've done the recap and everything, and then I send it back to them, and they go, oh, it's not working. And I'm like, wiggle the ROM around, give it a wiggle. So anyhow, Kay, being a thinker, he came up with this really nifty idea of creating a ROM that plugs into the processor direct slot. So there we've got our PDS connector here, and we've got our 4 little ROM chips here, and this goes in here instead of here. Now, there is one small issue, and that is that there is one pin that you need to actually take from another pin up here. I've got the instructions there. We'll go through it and we'll do all that. Now, what we have here is a product that is not necessarily going to be for everyone, but it is definitely going to suit some individuals. For me, I will almost definitely put that in this one here, because this one I have constant problems with the ROM not making proper contact, and you just start it up and you get the CMAC display, so you switch it off and then you take the back off and you give a little wiggle of the wiggle, and then you start it up and away she goes. And it's just a real pain, it just sort of takes away the reliability of the thing. So this is a way of actually getting around that, and so we're going to connect it up and see how it goes. Oh, look, Peter Wargo, hello there. I'm feeling nostalgia for my SE30. I do miss it sometimes. I hear you. I have several of them now because I love them, and I never miss an opportunity to buy one when one comes up. But they're a great Mac. They really are. They were quite something else. And of course, in that style of the compact Mac with a teeny weeny little screen. So that's basically what it is. Now, if you were to buy standard ROM from Kay, you would get this same sort of setup, but mounted on that there. I do have one of them, but I think it's inside my SE30 upstairs, so I can't go and show it to you because it's inside the SE30. But that's a standard Apple ROM there, and then this is the this one here with these removable chips. Now, what you can do with these is you can program them. You know, if you've got a programmer, Will from K-Mac Vintage, he's got a programmer, one that he sent me that I still haven't used, but I will be. And you can basically program these if you want to. They're often with these, there's a little bit of storage. You can make a bootable system, so you can actually boot from the ROM if you don't have a drive connected up to it. And you can do things like change the icons. You can change that happy face at the beginning when it starts up, and you can have different chime sounds and all that sort of stuff because you can program these. Now, I don't know if Kay is going to do this, but I'm wondering whether he may end up actually selling these without the chips, so that if you already have a ROM with the chips, you can just take that out, take the chips out of that and plonk it in here and use these. So you can also buy Kay's ROM sim without the chips in it if you want the flasher chips from his one with... Oh, okay, so there you go. You can buy it without the chips. There you go. I wasn't sure if he was going to do that, but he is going to do that, so that's great. But you know, these programmable ROMs are really the way to go. I mean, there's several ones out there. This is the first one I think that was available. This is the Rominator, big mess of wires Rominator. Then I've got another one here. It's just floating around because I saw it just the other day. Can't have gone too far. Yep, here we go. And I got this one here from K-Mac Vintage, and this one I think has a lot more storage on it, so you can put startup-y things on that, and then you use the ROM programmer and you can put your own things on there. It's great. It's really clever, and there's software out there to do that. There are videos out there that show you how to do that, so I'm not going to go in and do that today, but that's really nifty stuff. Quicksilver Oz, hello there. And yeah, so anyhow, that's really, really good. So I'm going to, hook it up to this one and test it out. So I'm going to just have a look at what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box today? All right. This is my special effects box that I use for my thumbnail. This one here, you see. I had a light coming up through the bottom, so I was holding it in front of me, so it was shining light on my face. Special effects, amazing. Right. So, now, this originally came with this little clippy thing in this plastic bag. I've taken it out and connected it up. So, we've got JP2. Well, I should take this off so we can have a look at it. Yoink. Right, so, we've got pin 27, the 6th pin from the end, and that is for UI6. That is UI6. Where's UI6? UI6. UI6. So that's UI6. So hang on. It's upside down. That's why. See, I think of the board that way around, not the other way around. So it's this one here, which is, I think it's the glue chip, isn't it? Yeah, that's the glue chip. So we have to go 6 pins along that way. Six pin from the end. I think I might change over the microscope for that. Because my eyes, my eyes. I'm old. Glue chip seems the most logical one to connect it to. So let's just change across to the scope view here. And I'll give you some focus. Focus! Oi. Sorry about that. Alright. Now, so he's included this rather cool little clippy doodly thing. Nice video on that scope. Quicksilver, I was saying nice video on that scope, Bruce. I'm going to get one. Handy to have, especially using big scope with ground isolation. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that someone actually asked about in the video. Are the grounds isolated? They're not. You can actually you can do the continuity on the grounds and they're all together. But as I sort of said in the video, I mean, so what I'm referring to is the Finersi 2C53T, which is a combined multimeter oscilloscope and signal generator. For me, what I use an oscilloscope for, this thing is perfect. I mean, everything I needed to use it for, and I love how portable it is. The thing that annoys me the most about my main oscilloscope is how big it is. It's a real pain. I use an iPad connected to a 32-inch monitor as my bench scope. I'm visually impaired and it works rather well. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Right. Okay. So anyhow, let me do this. So we've got this lovely little clippy thing. Clippy, clippy. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Clip. Little grabber. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? That a lovely little dot there. I reckon I could just solder that. And I use the clip now, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do thing. There you go. Okay, it's connected. It's not super firm. I definitely, you know, if I was using this on this permanently, I would definitely be setting up a wire. And there's a nice little via there that I could just plug a little wire into and just up there. And then he needs to go to... He goes to JP2. And so when we have a look here, we have got J2. There you go. It's really not many options there. There's only one sticking out, so that has to go to that. And with that connected, with a bit of luck, with the right sort of... Oh, I just unplugged it. There you go. There's a tip for you. Put the clip on last. There we go. Clips on. All right, let's see how we go. So I'm going to need a speaker. I had one. I had a nice looking one the other day. I thought I'd put it up here. Is that it? Is this the one that works? Soon find out. Here's the good way of testing to see if an old speaker works. You get your old multimeter. And you put it onto resistance mode, like this. And then you measure across the pins there. And we are getting 58 ohms. It is a I think it's a 63 ohm. But anyhow, the speaker works, so we're all fine. Everything's good. Worry not. That plugs onto there. Now, I do have to do something else. I just noticed this when I sat down to start this live stream. I've got this cool thing here from Will, K-Mac, that allows me to get a, what do you call those signals? Like an HDMI signal from the SE, and then I can just look at it on a little screen. And I just noticed that a wire's come undone from this cheap, rubbishy cable that I've got. So I'm going to have to just sort that out first. Which shouldn't take long. I mean, this may not even be used. It's just a ground wire. I mean, there's ground everywhere, but I feel a lot better if I have everything plugged in. How's everyone, by the way? Everyone doing good? For those who celebrate Easter, I hope people are enjoying the Easter. Here in Sydney, we have 2 holidays. So the shops are shut on both Friday and on Sunday, but there is a public holiday on the Friday and the Monday. So it's not working for a lot of people. I mean, some people, of course, still have to work. But for a lot of people, they get those days off. I mean, certainly from my perspective, all the people that I would normally liaise with in my job, they're all not working. So, here we go. Here we go. She's coming out. She's coming out. There we go. So I've just got the pin. I'm going to redo it, probably even solder it. Okay, just got to bend this back so that it will work when I put it back in. Should probably be doing this with the microscope rather than my goggly glasses. So let's do that. Right. Now, what I'm actually doing at the moment has nothing to do with the ROM, so I'm just letting everyone know that if you're thinking, wow, this is really complicated to set up this ROM, it's not. I'm doing this because this is a really, really cheap ATX cable extender. I have a good one, but it's connected to... Oh, it's it there. Maybe I should just grab that. I'm already this far. I may as well fix this. Hey, don't you reckon? How am I going to get that in there? Do I have new ones of these? I might. Yeah, that looks like them. Yeah, I've got a fresh one. Yeah, they are. So it is the pin, not the... Let's get that. So yes, I should actually mention that while this this little ROM thing was a bit of a secret, it wasn't a secret for everyone. Because I happen to know that Colin from This Does Not Compute also has one of these ROMs. So, we're special. Do-do-do. And I'm sure we'll be seeing that in a video from Colin soon. I have not yet had a chance to see Colin's latest release video because I have been so busy, but there is a new one there by the looks of things with some sort of IBM thing. Oh god, this is going to be hard. Fudge. Let's see if I can get this in there. This is one of these Molex. I sound like that woman from bloody White Lotus. Molex. It's a Molex cramper. And it's, oh, no, this is, what a mess I'm making here. Be better off just using a normal pair of pliers for this, I think. There may or may not be a video about it next week, eh? I'm sure it will be far more slick and professional than what I'm doing right now. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm actually working on a video. I'm hoping to continue it when I finish this live stream. It's sort of, it's a little bit different to what I'm normally doing. It's a little project style video. Well, when I say project, it's repairing a vintage product, which is something that I, of course, have done many times on my channel, but I haven't done it in a while. And I thought, you know what, I want to repair this, I want to make a video of it, and publish it, and maybe people will like it. I'm having trouble getting this in. Maybe because it's a plug that came with a different, a little connector that came with a different plug. I think it's gone in. Sort of. Who knew this was going to be so difficult? Not happy, Jan. Here's a little reference to some Australian advertising from years past. Something has become part of the Australian vernacular. Come on. I don't know. Maybe it's enough. We'll see what happens, eh? Should we just give it a whirl? Give it a crack? See if it works? No, it's not Sunday, so I've had to change things around this weekend because it's a long weekend, because it's a public holiday. It's not going in. God, that thing, it's just not straight. What do I need? I need something small enough to fit down there. Does that fit down there? Yeah, so it's because it is a public holiday here on, well, tomorrow. Well, actually, we've got 4 days off. My wife and I have 4 days off work: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we have sort of said, okay, what are we going to do this weekend? Do we have anything planned, anything like that? And I could have just plugged this straight in, couldn't I? I didn't really need to have it remote. Never mind. It's done now. Then I am going to connect up a screen. This is my little test screen that people who have seen the channel will have seen before. But yeah, so we talked about what we're going to do for the weekend, and I said, well, I'm going to have to do a live stream. That's a happening. And we're going to go for a bit of a drive and stuff like that. And we just said, well, what day will we do what? And so this is why this has ended up being on a Saturday instead. It sort of feels like a Sunday for me. Because, but, right, well, I think we're getting close to being ready. So I've got a 12-volt power supply here, and plug in. It's not super stable, but you know, we'll see how we go. That goes into the Pico ATX there, like that. And then we'll just see what happens. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is this little clip here, whether it's making proper contact. But we'll just see what happens. So, if we're ready, I'm going to switch the power on. There's someone revving their car. My neighbour's revving their car at the moment. It sounds awful. Okay. Ready? Oh, hang on. Just move that there, move that there. Right. Okay. Ready, steady, go. Well, got straight up chime. Piece of cake. We're chewing up about 1.1 amps at the moment. Not getting any video, but I don't think that's a fault of the SE30. I think that's something to do with what's going on over here. Because this is this fancy thing, and I have not used this in quite some time. It says power good. D1 is on. Whoops. Reset. I just pressed the reset button. And of course, I do happen to know that one of my HDMI cables is a little bit dicky. Okay, it flashed. This is where Will needs to pipe in and say what I'm doing right or wrong. So I've got the lights there. The card's plugged in, so that's good. Oopsie. I might just plug it straight in and not have this cable, because I don't have a whole lot of trust in this cable. Garrett Trailer, hello there. Ah, you were who I was responding to before. I didn't notice the name. Shall we say hello to the chickens? I'll just go and say, chickens, hello. There's one. There's two. Actually, I can see 3 of them. One of them's broody at the moment, which is really weird because it's the absolute wrong time of year. It's like autumn here. We're halfway through autumn. They're meant to go broody in spring. I guess it's just an indication of how interesting the weather is here at the moment. Okay, so bypassing. God, I'm going to need to change my glasses. Can't see with those. Back here. Top. Right, so let's plug the sound in there. A little bit fiddly, but I can do it. There we go. All right, so let's have another crack at this. See what happens this time. There we go. Plugged in, all good. Chimed again. Power good. That's good. It's blinking. Don't know what that means. If this doesn't work, I'm definitely going to try a different power cable. Oh, here we go. Look at it. It's working. Don't know why it didn't come on. It should normally come on when there's a signal. Let's just change the... can I... Oh, I know what that is. I was just like getting a notification from the doorbell. So let me just go here to select. Here we go. Nope. Can't remember what I'm supposed to press here. Previous, next. Screen capture. Isn't that cool? It does screen capture. Didn't even realize it did that. That's nifty. I can't remember what to press to change the settings. Do I have to reset it? Yeah. Reset. Select. Select. Here we go. 120 at 720. See, what I'd really like to do with this, I meant to press and hold down something. No PAL NTSC for artifacts. Screen capture, no. No. I can't remember how to get that menu up. If you can, I mean, it's not really a huge issue for me at the moment, but at the moment I was hoping that I could get this to output a 16 by 9 single signal onto a 1080 thingy. So I can go in and change this. I can go into display ratio and I can change it to 4:3 like this. And then we'll be fine. Now we're at 4:3. So I'm going to plonk that there. See if I can move this across. Well, it's working well. I'm happy with that. And Kay, what can I press some keys to make it boot into this ROM? Is this a bootable ROM? If it's not, just let me know. But I'm just going to do this. There we go. It's a bit better. Let's see that. All right. Now, what am I doing? I'm getting one of these things. This is a Zulu SCSI Pico Slim, which is just the most convenient little thing for working with these vintage Macs. So I've got my SD card in there. That's got System 7.1 on it. This has that's your little button for plugging it in and whatnot, you know, doing your reset stuff. But I do need to switch it off first. So switching him off, plug that in. I probably need a moose as well. There we go, that's in. Where's me moose? I'll need a keyboard if we're going to do booting, probably. Here's a keyboard. Oh, it's even got a mouse attached to it. Happy days, happy days. There's 2 mice here. What's going on? Attack of the mice. Press and hold R key to boot from ROM disk. There we go. So why did I plug in a blue SCSI if I'm doing that? I mean Zulu SCSI. Why? Why did I do that? That's a rhetorical question. I do not expect anyone to answer that. Okay. Whoop. I didn't get a chime that time. Just gonna make sure that didn't. I've been knocking stuff around. I want to make sure that's still connected. Yep, all good. Okay. This is a power related issue. This is not to do with the ROM, because the lights are coming on and they're going off, so I'm not getting power. That's odd. Why? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to unplug this and then plug it in again. It's weird, isn't it? I'm really not sure what is happening with this, why this is happening. But it just comes on and goes off again. Is it related to power? It doesn't have enough power to do the SCSI? I'm just going to unplug the SCSI, see what happens. Thomas, hello there. Yeah, it doesn't like the SCSI being plugged in. That seems to be coming from here. I don't think that problem is related to... don't hot plug SCSI, by the way. It's almost just like it's too much power at the one time. So who knows? Who knows? Anyhow, we don't need it. We don't need it. Okay. Oh, look at that, his little face. He's booting from SCSI at the moment. But I will boot from the ROM as well. God, this screen's dirty, isn't it? Need to give it a clean. This screen gets a lot of use. This is one of the niftiest little things I ever bought. I'd love to get another one that was maybe... This is a 5-inch screen. I'd love to get one of these as a 7-inch screen. You know, with the... Because I did buy a 7-inch one, and it looks the same, but it just doesn't have as many functions as this one. This one's got a really wide range of resolutions that it'll support, and all sorts of things and junk and stuff. Francois is here, hello there. Rudy is here, hello there. Dana is here, hello there. Everyone's just arrived at once. What's going on? How you going? All right? Yeah, good. Thanks, Sal. Right, so now I can't use that mouse. That's the whole wrong mouse. So we got this mouse, and I'll just move this little like this because you can see it a bit better. All right. Oh, the mouse isn't working. Why not? And I don't even know if the keyboard's working, to be honest. Yeah, okay, I've got some problems here with my ADB situation. And I'm not sure why that's the case. Have I blown a fuse? They're self-repairing fuses, so that shouldn't matter. Am I plugged in the wrong thing? No, that'll only go into that one. Maybe it's another power issue. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplug this. Unplug the SCSI. And press R. Oh, look at that. Geez, that started quickly. Now I've got that. So that has to be a power-related issue. I don't know. Or if there's a problem, there might be a problem with this. That's always possible. I'll try a different SCSI thingy. There might be something gone wrong with that. I mean, let's face it. I did solder it. Scamperly, hello there. Okay. What's a Portillo? Stop at Portillo's. I don't know what a Portillo's is. All right, let's have a little look-see up here. About the Finder. There we go. Oh, System 6. Yay! It doesn't quite know what to do with 70 megabytes of RAM, but never mind. But there, look at that. Isn't that so cool? I love it. And... oh, look at this, Mac Right. We got some games on here. Of course, a good old Missile Command. I remember playing Missile Command back in the days. When I had back in the days when I had a compact Mac at home, I had a Mac Plus, I think. But I think I got it as a hand-me-down. I'm not sure where I got it from. But I had a Mac Plus. And I got hold of this box of shareware discs. So it was a box of 800k discs. I think they were all 800k discs. So 10, maybe even 20 discs. And every single one of the discs had some like shareware games specifically designed for compact Mac. So it was all black and white stuff. It was all fitting inside this screen display size. And yeah, that was... you know, that was that I used to play a lot of different games. There was one I really liked, and I think it was called Gunshy or something like that. I can't remember. And you had to shoot and knock barrels out, and it would hit a whole bunch of little angled things. So you'd have to trace where you're going, and I got very good at that. I don't know if it makes me a genius or something, but probably. All right. Okay, I'm terrible at this, by the way. There's a reason why I don't play games. Oh, I'm struggling here. Oh, I need a mouse mat. Desperately need a mouse mat. This thing's terrible. It's a lot easier to play it this way, looking at the screen rather than looking up there. I was watching the... Oh, this is getting harder. I'm not sure if I'm prepared for that. They don't put me in charge of the missiles. Oh, I damaged my own house. That's no good. I'm doing so well here. Okay. Well, I think we proved that it works. But I do want to try and sort out this situation. Oh, quit doesn't work. File, quit. No Apple Q shortcut. I do want to sort out and see if we can get the SCSI thing happening. So I'm going to just try the SD card in a different... Oh, hang on. Sometimes when I get messages... Oh, okay, here we go. Dana sent me a picture of what a Portillo's is. Portillo. Oh, it's a hot dog joint. Yum. I like that. I love hot dogs. Okay. Peter Wago, greetings. Oh, no Shuffle Puck Cafe, so sorry about that, Joe. Hello, Joe. By the way, greetings from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hello there. Very, very long time Mac user. First time I've done one of these live streams. Usually I just watch them later. Well, thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate that. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this to work. So I've got another SCSI thing here. I just want to rule out whether that's the cause of the problem. And we know we were able to boot from it. We just couldn't get any ADB. So I'm going to switch this off using 1.4 amps. It's not my power supply having problems. It's the Pico ATX. Okay. And... that worked that time. So maybe there is an issue with this one, or maybe there is some other issue going on, but yeah, I don't know. I do have Shuffle Pack Cafe on my other one. Okay. If you take some of the RAM out, the SCSI may work. Well, so far so good. So far so good. See the little face. It's a little Satanic Mac Club face. Yeah, face. Traverse City, Michigan, USA. All these places I haven't heard of. I have heard of Michigan, but I haven't heard of Traverse City. Garrett Trailer, hello there. So we are booting. I think we're booting. Yep, little lights flashing. We're doing good. Sometimes System 7.1 just stalls at that point. It comes up with the Welcome to Macintosh screen, and it just sits there before it starts loading the all of the extensions. I don't know if it's some sort of test that it's doing, but I've seen that happen before. All right, there we go. Gotta love being able to output these on a little screen like this. Especially good seeing as I broke a CRT the other day, and I may need to stick an LCD into that other SE30. Cherry Capital. There you go. I love cherries. It's one of the things I love about Christmas time here, you know, because the cherries come in and it's just, you know, you get that mangoes and cherries at Christmas. That's I know that's different here too, is in that part of the world, but here the two things that you kind of associate with Christmas time, you know, obviously absurd heat, ridiculous amounts of heat, and cherries and mangoes. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to check and see if we've got 32-bit on. Now this is because this is a fancy ROM, this would be 32-bit clean. You would normally need to use mode 32. This is something that Colin discussed in his last video where he was doing SE30 recap. that they were not a 32-bit clean ROM in the SE30, but all of these new ROMs that have come out, things like the Rominator, things like, you know, what does Will call his? Doesn't have a name. What do you call your ROM? What fancy name do you have for your ROM? Let's go here to memory. So yeah, if you're using an older ROM, you'd need to use a little piece of software made by, I think it was Connectix, called Mode 32. We don't need that here. We've just got 32-bit memory addressing here because we have got the magical 32-bit clean ROMs. I think didn't they steal the ROM code from like one of the later Macs for it, something like that. Universal 8 megabyte ROM. There we go. Work in LC Quadra Performer machines also. That's cool. We're more into chilies around these parts. Ooh, I love chilies. The new compact card that you're using now have a power switch on them and a USB power output. Yeah, that's here too. It's under the pile of stuff. You sent me another one, didn't you? It's here. It's just this is the one that was still plugged in from when I was using it before, so I was using the older one. But the newer one is on this desk somewhere. I just need to grab it. And I should be using that, shouldn't I? But I am not a smart man. It's here somewhere. I had it just the other day. Anyhow, it's not far away, I can tell you that. Yeah, you definitely did send me a new one. Because I remember, I've got two, and I'm really happy about that because I have got projects for both of them. I'm going back into some more project videos. I've been doing product reviews left, right, and center lately, and I kind of like doing product reviews because I feel like they have a longevity to them. When I produce them, they, you know, for instance, I did one on a thermal camera a while ago, a P2, can't remember what it's called, but and that's the main thermal camera that I use for doing all my tests. Actually, that's not true. These days I'm using the Vevor a lot because it's there. I don't need to plug it into the phone, but that just still gets heaps of views, and I made it ages ago. Based on the 2SI ROM, yes. So Colin knows. So the 2SI ROM, which came out later on, which was 32-bit clean, they've then sort of modified that for these ROMs that they then use in the SE30. So let's see if we do have Shuffle Puck Cafe. I got pretty good at this. I could beat most of the people. There was one person in particular that I used to really struggle with, but I'll be crap today because it's a long time. And once again, I don't have a mouse mat here, so I don't have the best traction on this table. Leo's here. I am not a smart man. But I know what love is. I love you, Jenny. Tom Hanks isn't very good at accents, is he? Okay, so when I used to... Oh, I can hear the music. So I was able to beat... I think, was it this guy? I can't... One of them. This guy I found was a pretty good match for me. I could play this guy and have good fun. If I play him now, you watch, he'll wipe the floor with me. Easiest one is this guy, the little dude down here. Good chat. And one of them is drunk. Is it this guy? This one is drunk? I'm not sure. And one of them has... Oh, this little guy down here. He's just wobbly all over the place. Let's play him. Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to play it there. I've got to play it here. Oh, crap. I'm doing bad. I love Frank's hot sauce. Just put it out there, Quicksilver Oz. One of the marketing campaigns of that is I put that shit on everything, and I do. I put that shit on everything. Oh, crap. Hoisted by my own petard. Oh, own goal. Helps to pay attention. Oh, God. Oh. That was unfair. But yeah, I love Mexican food. As I was actually saying to my friends the other day, one of the big problems we have in Australia is I've never been to Mexico. I've never been anywhere where I can say I've had for certain authentic Mexican food. So I can eat Mexican food and go, oh, I really like that. That's good Mexican food. But do I know if it's authentic? No, I have no idea. There was a place here in Sydney. It's at Gladesville. It's not operating anymore. Called Dos Senoritas, and I thought they made beautiful food. I used to love eating there. But then, of course, we have 3 kind of Mexican fast food chains here. We're soon to have only 2 by the sounds of things. But we have got Taco Bell, which of course is from the States. We've got another one called Guzman y Gomez, and then we've also got Mad Mex. I've had some Mad Mex before. I've had some Guzman y Gomez. I have never had Taco Bell before. Oops. One of the things you can do in this game is you can make your paddle huge. You can make it so wide that the thing can't actually get past. That's a fun way to play. I didn't actually mean to launch that. We're doing well here. Yes, sirree, Bob. Now, if I figured what I'd do, as soon as I've finished playing this game of Schnuffle-Fnuck, I am going to have a look at another SE30, which has been giving me some grief. I'm going to see if this ROM helps at all, if the problems we're having is related to a problem with the ROM. Did I win? Oh, I won. Yeah. Okay. Mexican food is just Italian food, but with more cheese. That is certainly not the case with the Mexican food out here, I can tell you that for sure. Right, okay. So, anyhow, look, this is all really good. And at the end of the day, you cannot argue with having a ROM connected to the PDS slot. Nice, secure connections being made for all these. So, just a quick little recap for folks. If anyone has just joined recently, ultimately this live stream was to show off this new thing. And the new thing is this here, and it is ROM that connects to the PDS slot. You'd need to do a little jumper from a pin here on that in order for it to work, but it allows you to completely and totally avoid the ROM sim slot, which is a massive weakness on these Macs. Did I shut it down? Yeah, I did. So, yeah, I actually think it's a really, really good thing, and I definitely will be using it for this SE30 here when I get it put back together again, because this one here does have a pretty dicky connector. Okay, so that's good. We're happy with that. That's all fun and games. I'm going to just lift that off. That's the sound there. I've mentioned this, I think, a few times. So I have a few SE30s. I have one which has got Bowles grayscale mod to it. So that's one. It actually has like a little display card inside, and then you change the little board, the neck board on the back, and allows you to get 256 shades of grey on the little CRT screen, which is really fun. I mean, it's not super practical, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, see, that's nice and secure. So, geez, that's warm. That RAM definitely does use some power. Be right back en route to work from home now. Home from work. Yes, good. Work to home. There we go. I hear Chinese food in England is quite a wreck. Okay. Regional chain Mad Mex where I live looks like the chain in Australia is completely different. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the origins of Mad Mex. It's been around for a while. As I say, I have had it before, and it's palatable. It's all right. It's fast food at the end of the day. I mean, what are you going to say? Fast food's fast food. It's usually stuff that really hits all of the taste buds with a hammer rather than with a delicate touch. You're going to have lots of fat, lots of salt, lots of umami. But Guzman y Gomez, they are really pushing the healthy food thing. So they're like, come in here and you can get a fast food, but it's all using fresh ingredients and healthy and all that. And so that's one thing they have. There's actually where I live, very close to where I live, there's actually a Guzman y Gomez drive-through. So that's kind of handy. It's right next to the McDonald's. 950 remake. Well, we probably will do that. There are a couple of little housekeeping tasks I have to do. I may or may not do them here. One of them is I need to replace the battery in one of my wireless things because it's just not holding a charge very well. So I've got a brand new battery here to replace. So I may end up doing that. We'll see. Another thing I wanted to talk about one of my new projects that I've got coming up is going to be using a Raspberry Pi. So anyone who hasn't seen it before, I released a video a while ago about the mini Quadra 700, baby Quadra 700. It was a lot of fun to do, got me a lot of views because it was sort of, I think, something that it got mentioned in some sort of tech blog somewhere. And that was nice. It's fun. I enjoyed doing that. And essentially what I did is I designed, 3D printed a little miniature Quadra 700 case, and then I put Raspberry Pi guts in it with an emulator so that I could essentially work it like a little Quadra 700. And I installed speakers inside and a little fan and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. My mini Quadra 700 is my NetaTalk server. That's awesome. Now, one of the big issues I had with this is when I put it inside the case, we've got this annoying situation here where there's your Ethernet, there's your USB 3, there's your USB 2, here's your 2 HDMI, and there's your USB-C. And you power it from the USB-C, so that port is taken up. Your USB-C port is used by powering, okay? So that's number one. Then your HDMI ports, they're micro HDMI, which is a bit of a pain. And they are not sticking in the same direction, which kind of makes it a bit of a problem for the build. So what I did is I bought one of these. And what this does, if you plug this like this, carefully of course, I don't want to break it, like that, what it does is it redirects these little micro HDMI ports into full-size HDMI ports on the same side as the USB, and runs the USB-C to there, and then gives you a little terminal block here for powering the unit. So that means that your USB-C now becomes freed up. So you can use, we've now got 5 USB ports sticking out one side, 2 HDMI ports, and Ethernet all coming out the one side. And so this is going to be, it is missing FireWire, this is very true. But having said that, the next project I'm working on is going to be a computer that does not have FireWire. So anyhow, this is a really nifty little thing that's going to be included in my next big build project, which is coming soon. So I'll be doing some 3D modeling for that. What else? I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. I'll see if I can find the SE30 board that I was working on before that wasn't working, and I'll need to look that up on my repair website. So just bear with me here. Definitely don't get as many views on Saturday as I do on Sunday, that's for sure. I mean, I know it's Friday there at the moment. And of course it is Easter Friday, so people may well be doing family things and stuff like that. But, where are we? Okay, so let's just go here. I'll go into my little repairs. Repairs. Oh, I've removed it by accident. Oh no, there it is. It just didn't fit on the screen. Okay. This screen that I'm looking at the moment is so dirty. I have to clean it. It's got all sorts of like spider poo on it. Okay. XC30. Problems. Okay, this is the one that's in progress. So let me just look up the serial number. It ends in 272A. Not this one. This one. Okie dokie. So we just want to test out with this one. We've got ROM here. I just want to see if I'm going to get any difference with the way this computer behaves if I run the ROM, the PDS ROM. Now, if I remember rightly, the issue I've been having with this one is sad Mac chime. What I would really like, I want the blinking lights. This is, again, another little invention of Will's, and that's where the RAM sims, they blink, they have little flashy lights. So I've lost the chat here. Let me bring that back so I can see if anyone's saying anything interesting, or more importantly, telling me of things that I'm doing wrong. Okay. Okay, it's interesting you say this. Not the audio jack. Francois, isn't that annoying? Because I agree totally. If that thing had the audio jack as well, I mean, if it just had the audio jack to go in there and then redirect that out somewhere here, it would be really, really good. But it does not. However, it won't matter for the project that I'm doing because I don't need the audio jack running to the outside. So for me, I'm okay with it. But I agree with you 100%. That it would be really good if it had the audio jack there. I was looking, someone else makes one of these and they added something else to it. I can't remember. Oh, and this also has pass-through for the UART. So you can connect your UART wherever that is on this. I'm not sure where the UART comes out on this particular board, but maybe that's only on the Raspberry Pi 5. I'm not sure. Maybe the Raspberry Pi 4 doesn't have UART. I'm not sure. But anyhow, this has the option you can go from the board, then to this, and then out there if you want to. You can have sort of pass through for that. And then there's also a plug here if you want to power it through that, 5-volt ground. So, yeah, nifty little thing. But, yeah, unfortunately, is it open source? Maybe someone can patch it. Well, I don't think it is open source, but I don't think it would take much to reverse engineer it because it's mainly just pass-through stuff, you know? It's just mount these things on here and stick them. This is actually made by a company called WaveShare. And if you actually do a search for WaveShare, you will find this product. I just bought this from AliExpress. And I bought two of them because, you know, why buy one when you can buy two? Yeah, so they have all the instructions on WaveShare. The AliExpress had no instructions whatsoever. I'm saying, what's that plug for? I had to go to WaveShare to find out. EATX case using off-the-shelf parts. The front panel is lightly inspired by the old compact Macintoshes. That's cool. I would really like to see that when that's done. Apple display connector. Aye. Now I have this is what I have done with this particular computer. I have recapped it. No surprises there. I'm pretty sure I have replaced the RAM multiplexers on this. I need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure these are new. These are new here. These ones down here. Yeah. So I'm going to get the lights are blinking. So this one here is the reloaded board that I built. That I put the PDS slot on backwards. So I'm going to I'll have to shave that off because there's no way I'm removing it. No way at all. This has the added advantage that you can actually socket. You can put little sockets down here for the RAM chips, so you could actually put these RAM chips onto there if you had sockets soldered onto there. But yeah, this is part of a project that I am is also in the wires, whatever. What do you call it? In the I don't know, it's happening. And yeah, I've got a really cool idea of what I'm actually going to do with this. So these are the little RAM. I should going to move this bloody camera view. There we go. That's better. That's better. You know, because I only mounted that camera yesterday, I'm still trying to find the right position for it and junk. See, I don't want to have it when I zoom out too much. You end up just seeing, you know, crotch cam. But that's okay. Right, so this RAM here from, oops, it helps if you put it on the right slot. This RAM here from Kero Mac Vintage, one of the advantages this has is it's got one of these like little ATI Tiny or something like that. I'm not sure what it is, what chip it is, but it's got a little chip on there. And it translates the data movement, you know, reading into little blinking lights, which is very handy because it allows you to see whether your RAM is actually getting accessed, and that's one of the things with this one I'm really not sure. So let me just do the little thing here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Just going to bend this one of these little clips in. I feel like it needs to be bent in a bit more. There we go. That's better. I think that'll hold a lot better now. Oopsie. Oopsie doohickey. There we go. Alright, so we've got that connected to the 6th one along from the right. We've got that connected to there. We've got that plugged in. We've got some RAM in there. We need some speaker, which I had here. There we go. Let's connect that. So the symptom that this had was it was just giving me a sad Mac chime with known good RAM. Right. Okay, let's see what we get. I'm not even going to bother bringing the screen over at this stage because I don't actually expect it to start up. But we'll just see what happens. So what we got now is we've got this problematic board. We're using the PDS ROM here. And we've got the blinking lights RAM. And we're just going to see what ends up happening. So I'm going to turn the power on. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay. So we get the chime. Then we get the sad Mac chime. We're not getting any activity going on in this RAM at all. Zilch kaput nada. So I'll start it again, but I don't think we even got any blinks there at all. I'll just restart it. Yeah. So when I get that, one of the main things I always think about is it's going to be an issue with one of these RAM multiplexers because they do fail. So that would be my first thought with those, but having said that, could be lots of other things. The reason why I haven't actually got any further with this one is because what I kind of need to do now is start doing some boring diagnostics, but I just did want to see if this is going to make any difference. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to try something here, which sometimes works, but may or may not, we'll just see. I'm going to apply a fairly solid amount of pressure to all these RAM sims when I switch it on and just see what happens. Because sometimes that can be the issue. So I'm applying pressure now. No. And then I'll do the same, but I'll move these forward. Pull them all this way. Aha! Right, so that is a CMOS CMAC. It's horizontal lines, not the normal one you see because of it's the Texas Instruments VRAM. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the restart now while applying pressure to these RAM sims. No, it's poopied again. So it's just, it sounds like it's just the luck of the draw as to whether it... Yeah. So... Yeah, okay, so the fact that we're not getting any lights on the RAM at all, we're not getting the slightest blinking whatsoever, suggests to me that there's, you know, it's having some sort of issue addressing them. We know that a lot is working. We're getting obviously video out, even though it's just the default image coming straight out of the VRAM chips. We're getting chime, which means the ROM's getting read. We're getting a SADMAC chime, which means that the ROM is getting read and it's doing a RAM test and it's failing. So there are actually lots of things we know are good with this. But I've just got to try and figure this out. Now, I'm going to have a quick look here at these multiplexers because I thought I did change them, but I want to be sure of that. Because if I didn't, that's what I'm going to do. Because one of the problems I have is a lot of the time when I solder things on, I can't tell if it's my soldering or it's bloody factory. They look a bit crusty. I'll look here if I see any. Oh, I've got to show you what I'm looking at because otherwise that's just rude. It's so rude. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just grab my my pile of chips. I think it's here. What am I after? I'm after F258s. F258s. What's that? F253. A. Whoopsie dink. $258. Well, no, I definitely have not changed these. These are just the original ones on there. So it's curious that I haven't actually done that step yet. I really would have thought I would have done that first, but I didn't. So, yes, can please. Yes, when Jay's not here, someone has to do it. Someone has to tell me. Right. SADMAC chimes. You know what's really funny? I'm so glad that I did spot this problem. I thought this was my board the other day. And I actually even went to the point where I put a little B on it, which I'm going to take off now, because I put a B on things when they're mine. But I then realized when I looked up the serial number in my system, it's like, no, this isn't mine. 'Tis not. All right, okay, we can do a little bit of soldering today. That's great. I haven't done soldering in ages. So we'll see if we can get this one fixed up. We're basically going to take these chips here, which are, I mean, I can just go and replace all of them, or I can just go in and, you know, try and replace 3 or 2 or whatever, and then just see how we go. But you can see, here we go. Got here 74F258AD. So that's F258. And yeah, these are the RAM multiplexers. So, going to need some hot air. Okay, do you think I should just replace all 6 of them, or do you reckon I should just find the bad one? What do you reckon? I'll keep going until I find the bad one. That's the question. I really should be asking the person whose board this is, shouldn't I? Do you want to pay extra for 6 chips, or do you want me to just replace one? He strikes me as the sort of person that would probably actually want me to definitely get it fixed 100%. So I might just take them all off and replace them all, if that's all right with everyone. Is everyone okay with that? Can we get a thumbs up? Curious of how you find the bad one. You replace one at a time until it works. That's basically what I do. And that's what I'm going to do. I will test, because it's so easy for me to test. I will test between each one, but... Come on, you thing. I need my spring. It's my spring. Future-proofing, yeah. There's an interesting spelling of future there. It's alright, I'll let it slip. It is Saturday. So we're all on the same time zone now, in down the east coast of Australia. During summer, we go into daylight savings, but Queensland does not. But now we're no longer in daylight savings, so we're back at the same time as Queensland. So all down the east coast, we're all on the same time now. So that's sort of up in Queensland, you know, for Brisbane, here in Sydney, down in Melbourne. I think Adelaide's half an hour out. Isn't that a weird one? Half an hour. Strange. This one's definitely going to want a good old ultrasonic once I've sorted this out. Okay, I'm looking at doing a product review on a soldering station. I haven't approached the company yet, but we were talking about it in my last live stream. Funersi make this soldering station that heats up really, really fast. And I'm getting a bit sick of the Hacko, to be honest. I wouldn't mind something new. On the whole, it's good. There's just a few things that I really don't like about it. Like its dumbass controls. Only Friday in America. Yes, yes, yes. For a bit longer. Ooh, fume extraction, please. That stinks. So as usual, when I'm doing this sort of stuff, replacing chips, first thing I do is take the old chip off, add some fresh solder, then I take the solder away and I make sure that what I leave are shiny, pretty shiny pads, all ready to accept some fresh solder. And it's also not a bad idea to do a little bit of continuity stuff here, just to make sure that we don't have any brokens, because that's always possible with old stuff. So I'm going to get my Funersi 2C53T. I just want to point out to everyone, because obviously I've been talking about Kaiweet's multimeters for quite some time now. I do want to point out that this has... let me put it to this way. I prefer, if I'm just using a multimeter, I do actually prefer to use the Kaiweets. Is it down here? This one here. This is the Kaiweets HT118E. I do actually prefer to use this as a multimeter. I like the dial at the front. There are things this one does that this one doesn't do. I prefer the continuity testing on this one. So I just want to let people know that that I still think as a multimeter, the Kaiweets is better. And so if you've bought one of those, you know, sort of don't feel bad about it. And of course they're cheaper. But the Funersi 2C53T with its added oscilloscope is just awesome. ZD915. Okay, I'll have to try it because the solder sucker I have is a piece of shit. Alright, so I'm going to move this into continuity mode. So we've got our beepity beep beep, and I just want to check in particular, like this one here. Yeah, we're good. Just there's a little line. Sometimes you get a little... Oh, you're not looking at it. There we go. There's a little line here, and sometimes you get a little line and you think, oh, are we making contact there? The other ones all look pretty visually good. That's fine. Yeah, I don't see any other issues there, so that's ready to receive a new chip. I'm pretty confident that we will resolve the issue with this computer because I have had this before many times, and replacing the multiplexers, RAM multiplexers, has fixed the problem. So I am just going to work along those assumptions. There's an I in there. There's another I. You're missing an I. It's FNIRSI. You're not even spelling it right. You don't know. I'll have to get it queued up, ready to play on my live stream sometime, but Dana has sent me quite a few audio recordings of him saying Finersi, and every time I hear it, it cracks me up. Particularly the latest one he sent over. That one was hilarious. There we go. Pretzel FTW, yeah. Hello, welcome to Macintosh. Yeah, we're just talking about how none of us really know how to pronounce Finersi, which I, of course, made a bit of fun of at the beginning of my last live stream. ASM. Need an open one. ASM. So I've been trying this different flux at the moment. It's called ASM UHF, and apparently it doesn't have any halides, or I don't know. It hasn't got something in it, something bad, one of the bad chemicals, and I'm not sure I like it as much as the normal ASM, but it's all right. Oh, we wanted to test, don't we? Sorry, folks. Let's do some testing. See, I'm going to get my bloody extender cable. See if this works. And it did chime last time when I used this, didn't it? It's just a lot easier to do it this way, so I don't have to keep... Am I in? Is it in? Not sure it is. See how we go. See what it does when I flick the switch. Now it's not going to work at this stage because I haven't got a ROM connected, but I'm just going to do this. Yeah, okay, cool. We got power to it. That's all I wanted. Right, I'm just going to use the normal ROM here, so I don't have to hook up the little lead. Oh, that's interesting. I got a light this time. Oh crap! What happened to the screen? Why are we looking at chickens? Why? That's because I've got things piled up on my mouse, and here we go. Scope. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so let's just go to top view here. All right, so I'm just going to mention a couple of things here real quick. So I have replaced this one here, this little guy. Now, when I switch this on this time, and I'm using just a standard ROM, instead of using the fancy one, because I don't want to worry about having to put the little plug in at this moment. But this time when I switched it on, I got one of the blinking lights on one sim. So that was an interesting one. We're going to switch it on. Oh, got nothing that time. Come on. Don't make a liar out of me. I heard you. I heard you. Okay. Well, it's definitely not working. So no matter what we're going to do, I'm going to continue replacing these. Because it did definitely give me a sad Mac chime. And so even though it's not doing it for me anymore, and just making me look like a liar while I showed you the chickens, you think I was tricking you all while I was showing the chickens. And that's just... But I wasn't. Maybe if I try this ROM. No, same. Isn't that bizarre? Oh, not to worry. I'm just going to keep working with my original plan. And let's keep removing multiplexers. The blink RAM is cool. It's a very handy little thing. I really wish I hadn't had the camera pointing at the wrong thing and you could have seen. But when I switched that on and I got the sad Mac chime, one of the sims gave me a red light. I don't know if there's anything to read into that, but it feels special. Alright, so we're going to take the next one next. This is UJ3. There we go, off he comes. Put some flux on there. Ooh, squeech. Come on, off you come. Oh, 16 megabyte blink RAM also available. That's so cool. I actually want to deck out my... One day, I want to deck out my Quadra 950 with 256 megs of RAM, so I need to buy a whole stack of 16s. I think at the moment I've got 4 16s in there. I've shared my 16s around, so I've got 4 16s in an SE30. I've got 4 16s in a 2CI, well, it's actually 2CI with a radius rocket board, so they're in the radius rocket board. So 4 16s in that. And then I've got 4 16s in my Quadra 950, I think. I'm pretty sure that's how I've got them distributed. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up getting 16s for, like lots of them. Lots of them. Because why not? I have like 48 of them built and ready to ship anytime. Hey, well, you know me. I'd rather you send it as a kit. So I will probably invest some Australian dollary dues in those. I don't know how they compare to the other ones. I'll, of course, do some price comparisons because I do my due diligence. But I would imagine, my thought would be that they would probably be a very reasonably priced way of doing it. Right, just going to check. Looking all right. The others look fine, so I'm not concerned there. I want to get some of that version 5 again. I was using that the other day and I was enjoying that. Here we are, the V5. This is the V5. So this is the one, generally I'm recommending the V5 flux to anyone who's sort of saying, oh, what flux should I use? Because it's very, very difficult to just answer that with a single answer. You can't just say, oh, use this flux, because flux has different purposes. You have flux for leaded solder, lead-free solder. You have flux for surface mount work. You have flux for BGA work. You have flux for easy cleaning. You have flux for, sort of that's contain less nasty chemicals. So, my question, if someone's saying, what flux should I use? It's like, well, do you have good fume extraction? Do you have the means of, do you have an ultrasonic clean if you're cleaning gunk off afterwards? Are you using leaded or lead-free solder? That sort of stuff. So, but generally, if someone's just like, okay, I'm after an all-purpose that, fits a lot of requirements, I'm just saying to people, just go the Styri V5. It just ticks a lot of boxes. Oopsie. I mean, I know from my perspective, I would rather use a fume extractor and use the flux I want to use, because I like the specific characteristics of the flux that I use. But having said that, this bloody V5 is awesome. I wonder if I should clean some of this off before testing. Just a little bit. Is it UV? It's good this has got UV tracer in it, I think. Let me just get my UV light. Top yo. Yep, you can see that. That's my UV light. You can see it all glowing there. Doesn't glow here, glows there. I really like having the UV tracer in the flux. V3 I use mainly and is well priced. I need to order more, so we'll try the V5. Yep, I rate it. Okay, plug that. Get my Remedy ROM. See if it's going to start this time. Okay. Well, we got a sad Mac chime, whereas last time we were getting nothing. So that's good. So we're going to keep going. Going to keep working our way through. I'm just going to put the original ROM in. I just want to see. Yeah, all good. I'm not a big fan of the chime, the alternative chime that is often used with the non-standard ROMs, but that's a personal thing. Oopsie, press the wrong thing. Universal ROM will bypass the RAM check. Will it indeed? Well, it still gave me a sad Mac noise. So what's going on there? Maybe it thinks there's no RAM at all, which would figure if there's a problem with these Mux chips. Now, what I should have done, and I didn't, what I should have done is I should have grabbed the schematic to figure out which Mux chips work for different RAM slots, because I could be replacing the ones for Bank B for all I know. But working our way through. See, again, these are things that smart people do, not people like me. Try a different video ROM, as that's just a simple swap. Yeah, look, I'm going to keep going with this course of action. I will definitely try the video ROM should this be unsuccessful. And apart from everything else, I haven't done any decent soldering in such a long time. I feel like I'm getting a bit rusty. And I need to get in here and do this. because I love it. Love soldering. Justin, hello there. Are you sure it's plugged in? I'm reasonably sure. I'm about 70% sure. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Only about 60 times. I need to get some of more of these chips. I'm going through them. Just got to have a little look-see here. Oh, that one there looks got a little gap on it, so I'm just going to do some continuity testing. This one here, see just there? See that? It just looks like there's a bit of a gap there. Could be nothing, but... Yep, we're good. Life is nice. Make sure I put these around the right way, because I feel like an idiot if I don't. Now, I know that people who may have watched my last live stream where I was building a Quadra 950 and were probably expecting that I would do that in this stream as well. It will be in my next stream. The reason why I'm not doing it in this one is because I did want to feature this PDS ROM because Kay had sent it to me and I wanted to try it out and feature it, and so I've just put the Quadra 950 on hold until my next live stream. I may live stream again in 2 days, so my Monday, US Sunday. It's a possibility. I'm not going to commit to it 100%, but it is a possibility. All right, so that is that is 3 we've replaced now. So let's try again. Got that. Got a plop a ROM in. Nothing wrong with me. There we go. ROM goes in. Switch them on. We got nothing. I'm just going to clean these. I just always worry with these that when I leave them a bit dirty with flux and gunk. I just want to dilute it a little bit there with some iso alcohol. Okay, let's try again. Just going to let this cool a little bit. Turning to the dark side of the force. What have I done? What did I do? Okay, and switch on. Still getting the chimney chimes. I like the sound though. I mean, when I get no sound, that's when I freak out a little bit. But when I hear it making a noise, I'm like, okay, we're making progress. All right, back to the scope view. Only 3 more to do, people. So won't be long. That's not the thing I need. This is the thing I need. Oops, I did it again. What happens is I put the mouse down and it bumps the key press and then it changes to a different camera. And it was changing to a camera that I don't actually have a camera plugged in at the moment, so that's why it was showing the chickens. Because the chickens are in the background of every scene. There is a very good reason for why the chickens are in the background of every scene. IPA applicator. I used it, put some on the toothbrush. Yeah, sure, absolutely. So this is it here. I bought this from, possibly eBay, maybe AliExpress, I'm not sure. Somewhere very, very cheap. Just got to change here to the top view. And it looks like this. So I bought a pack of 3 of them. This is, I think, now the 3rd one. The first 2 have got so grotty and old and busted and stuff, I got rid of them. But it essentially is just a little tube. It goes in there. And then you press this down. You just press the whole thing down. It's spring loaded. And it just comes up, makes a little pool like that. Just there. Little pool there. And then you can dip anything into it. Toothbrush, whatever. They're used for makeup. You'll find them in, if going out and getting a manicure or a pedicure or something like that. You'll find that they use these for, what's the stuff? Nail polish remover and that. They can just dab them and then they can just do that. So they're really nifty. And as I say, they're dirt cheap. And I think you'll find them as like a makeup or, makeup dispenser or something like that. Because that's, as I say, that's who it's marketed at. And I've made a little 3D printed holder here for all of my soldering iron tips and all the other bits and pieces that I have here. And I actually made a little spot for it to fit right in. So, because it used to fall off my table all the time. So now it's in its own little compartment, so it doesn't go anywhere. Version 5, there we are. Oh, there's a little spider on the table. Hey, little spider. I would put the microscope on him, but he's moving too fast. I tell you what, this V5, I don't know what they've done to it, but it is clear. It's like really, really clear. That gets my vote. I'll buy that for $1. I keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing until I end up with these little kind of lozenge shapes. If they're a bit wonky, I know that this solder's not properly adhering, so I have to keep cleaning until I get that lovely kind of lozenge shape. Spider on my desk last week, so yes, I do. There was a lot of spiders. It is Australia, it is Sydney, let's face it. I got bitten by something the other day. No idea when or how, but there was a bite on the back of my neck. It was really nasty to start off with. It's a lot more pleasant now. But, yeah. It's, yeah, I can still feel it. It's not as bad. It was really itchy yesterday. It was probably a spider in clothes, so hanging out clothes on a clothesline or something like that, and then a spider's in the garment, and then you take the garment down, you put the garment on, and you get bitten by a spider. That's probably how it happened. That would be my best guess. I can't say for certain, but, Don't forget, smash the like button. Yes, thank you everyone. Please like the smash button. I should do a thing, shouldn't I? Should I do the thing? I'll do the thing.
Smash that like button.
Geez, I've got some mileage out of that one, haven't I? I actually think that originated from Dana. I think one time when we were just talking about, kind of pretentious YouTubers, and he just sort of went, yeah, smash that like button. And it just cracked me up. So I decided to use it and be a pretentious YouTuber. Right, now, we're going to try again. Thankfully, this is all nice and easy these days because everything's just plugged in. I don't have to do much else. I've just got to stick a ROM sim in, change the camera to the top view, and then switch it on. Still getting the noise? It's been worth it though, hasn't it? We've enjoyed the chip stuff, haven't we? Dun, 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 dun. Make sure I'm putting the right chips on. I always have this horrible feeling. I did this once with a board. I put the wrong chips on. I just want to make sure I'm putting the right chips on. Yeah, I can actually see it there. 258. Yep. Definitely 258. Cool. Oh, geez, I felt silly, I can tell you. What are we doing? We're taking a thing off. So this is number 5. All right, where are we? This one. Yeah, so that's the ASM. The ASM's nice and clear, but I tell you what, the V5's even clearer. That's amazing. I'm using a different coloured filament in my resin 3D printer, which is behind me here at the moment. My wife wanted me to print something in colour, so we bought a colour bottle of resin, and I printed it. But it is way smellier than the resin that comes with the printer. So the Creality resin that I use, just the grey stuff, it's sort of, they call it like it's low odour. And it is definitely low odour because with this stuff here, oh man, I can smell it. And that's with the lead down. Imagine what it'd smell like with the lead up. Paul's here. Hello, Paul. Right, okay, I'm just checking these ones here. Make sure we've got it a continuities. Looking good. I really only go for the ones, I only ping the ones where it looks like there's a little bit of a gap between there. If I don't see a gap, if it really looks like it's continuous, I don't bother pinging it. You watch what'll happen. I will do all of these. It'll make no difference. Then I'll do what I think it was Quicksilver said to do, and whoops, remove the ROM and plug it in again, and then it'll fix it. You watch. So I'm going to have a crack at programming some ROMs. I've got a ROM programmer. I've had it for ages. And I heard someone talking the other day about having a problem with a Mac Plus ROM. And I thought, you know what? I wouldn't mind programming some Mac Plus ROMs. So I bought some blanks. They're the same ones that work for the 128K, 512K, 512KE. Here's a question. Someone might know this. I ask you. Can I upgrade a 512K into a 512KE just by changing the ROMs? Or is there something else that has to be changed? So it's going from 400K to 800K. Someone might know the answer to that. I don't. Just ordered the Styri V4 30-gram tube kits. Should have asked for a code from Bruce before I did the order. Yes, there is a discount code. There's a discount. It's in the description of this video, so if you go down there, you'll find the discount code. Okay, is disconnected due to a battery bomb. Yeah, no, this one didn't have a battery bomb. This one is actually in remarkably good condition. So I'm going to do all of these little multiplexes. We're nearly done with that. This is the second last one. Then I'm going to, if it still doesn't work, I'm just going to reseat this video ROM. And then if it still doesn't work, then I'll replace it or swap it. And then of course I'm going to try the different. I'm going to try the PDS ROM as well. All right, top view. I'm starting to get a bit hungry, you know. I had a sandwich for breakfast, but it was a while ago now. I'm just going to give this a clean again. It's a bit grubby. Mac plus ROM on a 512K, and it will be a 512K. Yeah, that's really good to know. I mean, because I've got a 512K here, and it's been upgraded to 1 megabyte. But I'm just tempted to upgrade it to a 512KE. Maybe. Right. Okay. We're still going. We're still going. Okay. Stick with me here, please. Okay. Switch on to power. Yeah, I got the little red flickery light on this chip here. I don't know if you saw it. If I do that again. No, it didn't do it that time. So I can't read too much into that. We've got one left. One left. Oh, I didn't realize you were Luthier K. I did not know that. I think I have seen pictures of you with a guitar. That's awesome. I have a couple of guitars. I'm not very good at it, though. I have an acoustic Maton guitar. Maton is an Australian guitar brand. They make very nice guitars. So I have a nice. It's not a like a semi-acoustic type thing. It's full acoustic. It doesn't have any amplification at all. That's a lovely guitar to play. It really is. And then I have a little Hofner Shorty. It's not one of the originals, so just in case anyone's not sure what a Hofner Shorty is, I'm sure you've all seen Back to the Future. At the very beginning of the very first Back to the Future movie, Marty McFly has a tiny little guitar. That's called a Hofner Shorty. I have a Hofner Shorty, but it's not one of those originals from back then. It's a remade one these days. The company Hofner now, you know, it's still genuine Hofner, but it's not what they used to be. And the action's really high on it too. Wow. My cousin, well, was, I mean, I'm sure he still can play, but was an incredibly accomplished bass player. He was in bands for a good chunk of his life. Never really cracked it big, unfortunately. That's just how it is, though, isn't it? Okay, just check the little things with things here. Really haven't seen any issues here with these traces, so I'm not surprised that I'm still getting good pings there. If it's this one, and like it's like the last chip I tried, I really, actually, to be honest, I won't think anything of it. That sort of crap happens all the time. I got kicked off Discord for being friends with someone they got mad at. Oh, okay. David Russian, hello there. I'm late as usual to this party. Not to worry, not to worry. You still get a chance to see the thing that was in the box. Because once I have finished doing this, that's going to be part of my testing. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box today? That was a TV show. I don't think it's still on anymore. I have had the F240 in front of the RAM Sims fail and cause this issue. Don't tell me that. I've never had one of them fail before. But I'll certainly swap it over with another one if it's a potential cause. What does it look like down there? Whee. Looks pretty clean. Doesn't look too bad, but yeah. I will there. I will definitely I'm always keen to try swapping things out. This will of course go in the ultrasonic cleaner when it's done. When it's done? When it's done. When it's done. Okay. What's in the box? What's in the box? Have you checked the fuse? There is the only fuses on here are related to the ADB and the SCSI port, so not relevant. Do they still use SCSI in industrial applications? It is my understanding that there are some SCSI devices still being made, SCSI dependent devices still being made, but no one makes SCSI hard drives anymore. So if you're going to use that, you have to use like some sort of emulator. I know that Alex from Rabbit Hole Computing, the ones responsible for the SCSI to SD and then the Zulu SCSI, they I know he has had sometimes some big orders from companies that are still using equipment that uses SCSI storage. He ended up actually making a custom run of I think it was Zulus or SCSI to SDs, I can't remember which one, but he was specifically asked to make a custom run with, I think they actually had the SD card mounted to the board or something like that, or some sort of storage mounted to the board rather than having a slot, because the slot was it was considered a risk with these that the card could fall out or something in the application they're using. So yeah, pre-press guys got to stick together indeed. Justin Retro Chip Tester. Yeah, I didn't. I saw the video came up, but I wasn't in a position to watch it. So I'm definitely keen to get one of those retro chip tester things. You know, you can test all your old RAM chips, like on your, 2E and 2C and all that sort of stuff there. And I assume it probably tests RAM, the same RAM that you use on the 128K and 512K. But yeah, I've wanted to get a RAM tester for donkey's years. All right, so all of the multiplexer chips have been replaced. I've now got the original ROM in. I don't expect it to work. I'm just going to say straight off the bat now, only because I've done all 6. You know, you kind of would have expected it to have happened somewhere along the line. For it to be the last one, it does sometimes happen. I had that happen with some RAM once. I was replacing some RAM chips on a board, and the very last one fixed the problem. But we'll just see what happens. No, still getting the sad mecha chime. So, now, I can't even remember who it was that made the suggestion, but someone made the suggestion of trying a different video ROM chip, which I'm going to do, but I'm going to reseat it first, because, you know, reseating can sometimes be enough to resolve issues with socketed chips. The chime sounds distorted. Yeah, I think it's alright. It might just be the... because it's live streaming. Okay, I've reseated that. Let's press the button. Yep, same problem. So then we're going to swap with another. I've got one here, so we'll do that. I don't expect it will make a difference, but I will try it anyway. Come on, little rummy-dum. If it is the problem, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I have a spare one of these. I might have one from a battery bomb board, maybe. Come on. I don't want to bend pins. Thank you. Sorry about the head view there. Alright, so we've got a different ROM in there now. Oh, same problem. It's funny, isn't it, that it's... It's sort of behaving like there's no RAM in there. You know what I mean? I'm just going to put this... being those plastic SIM sockets. Yeah, well, I mean, if it is those plastic SIM sockets, it's them as well as something, because I've got to try the ROM as well, don't I? Okay, that's one more thing I've got to do here. I'm going to press that down. Same. Yeah, it's. I just want to remove these because I think we'll get exactly the same. Yeah. So it really is behaving like there's no RAM in there. So yes, it is very possible that is the slots. I've put solder on all these here, so they're a much tighter fit than normal. I wonder if I should try some different RAM, eh? What do you reckon? Let's try this stuff. It doesn't have the blinking lights, but at the moment we're not getting any blinking lights anyway. I don't think it'll make any difference because, to be honest, this is the RAM that was in it before. Balls. Well, it definitely did not work with that RAM before, so I feel fairly certain that one of those multiplexers was bad. But we're starting now. It's actually going zippity-zap. So, Sean is here. Hello there, Sean. Look at that. So, okay. Why is it not working with the blinking lights and blinking? I'll switch it off first. Start pulling RAM out while the thing's still on. I don't think they like that very much. So this is basically what we needed. We needed Sean to turn up. Sean has this uncanny knack of being able to repair things. Isn't that right, Sean? He repairs everything, and everything ends up way better than it was when he first started with it. And that's clearly what we needed here. We needed Sean to just turn up, speak some magic words, and we're fixed. So it was a Bluetooth repair. Okay, I'm just going to try these ones. These are the little format, because I was talking before about wanting to get some 16 megabyte SIBs, to load up my Macs, like things like my Quadra 950 and that, with loads and loads of RAM. But the fact is, since Kay has brought out these little boards, I've featured these before, I did a little video on it, and of course, I have so many chips for these. I've just been doing 4 megabytes for everything now. You take an old Mac like this, I put 8 4s in there, and that's 32 megabytes of RAM. And that is enough for a computer of this vintage. It really is. Alright, so let's see if we can actually make this one work. Now that we have Sean here. Sean, you're not allowed to leave. You realise that now. If you go, it might stop working. So you've got to stay now. Rasco, hello there. There we go. Don't know how that got so caught up when I only just put it down a moment ago. Alright, so let's get our screen here. Plonking screen, I don't know, somewhere. There we go. And then we'll switch on. Oh! Didn't like that, did it? Let's do that. No. I definitely think we've got an issue with these RAM slots. The fact that we get some RAM work, some RAM doesn't work, and we know all of this RAM is good. So I'm going to put in the RAM that I know works, but I'm going to probably have to let the owner of this board know that caveat that, unless he goes and potentially replaces all these RAM slots, I'll try and clean them up. They might come a little bit better after ultrasonic kicking, but yeah. Oh, no, you've got to do the ROM. Okay. So this is what we're all here for in the first place, the ROM. So here is our PDS ROM. I'll plonk that in there. Feeling good about that. There we go. And pop that there, and I'll just do this with the scope because, eyes. I'm doing microsurgery here. There we go. Right. So, I'm saying so a lot today, aren't I? I do it a lot any time, but yeah, that's just me. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to hope that this still works. If it doesn't work, we know that Sean's headed off. Okay, there we go. Yep, got a nice big solid chime there. So, okay, what I think would need to be done with this, first of all, I've got to clean those RAM slots. It wasn't just the RAM slots, I know that for a fact, because I originally had this RAM in it and it wasn't working. So, it was more than just the RAM slots. And when we very first started out, you saw me pushing them down and bending them and trying to get it to work, and we just couldn't get it to work. So, the next thing that we did was we replaced all of the RAM multiplexer chips. And it didn't work all the way through that. However, when we got to the end of tether type thing, I then swapped over to this RAM here, and it just worked. So basically pretty clear that it's a combination of things. Dodgy RAM slots, and I think we had a dodgy multiplexer chip as well. So that's all looking good. This one will probably have, 32-bit memory addressing off again. Well, it's a different computer, so of course it will. Control panels. Memory. Thanks for the memory. And we can see we need to switch on our 32-bit memory addressing there, because otherwise it will only address 8. And at the moment I have 16 in here. So if we actually have a look at the About This Macintosh, you'll see that it's got like a whole stack. It says, 10 to the system, which is just not right. Don't need 10 for a system. At the moment, this computer is using just the amount of power that's just on the borderline of my power supply having to turn its fan on. So it keeps the fans going. Yeah, there's if it boots Linux, yeah. You're using the original video ROM or the one from the other board? I'm using the one from the other board. Do you want me to change it back? I'll change it back. I will change it back because we don't know, do we? We need to be proper diagnosis. So, for anyone who is joining late, what the main purpose of this live stream was to feature this product, which you can just kind of see here, which is ROM that you can connect up to the PDS slot. And again, if you weren't here earlier and you're sort of thinking to yourself, why on earth would you want to do that? Well, the simple answer is that a lot of these ROM slots on these old Macs are shit. And so this way you can avoid using the ROM slot that's built into the board. You can just use a PDS slot. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about if I want to run my network card, or what if I want to run my graphics card or something like that? Well, at the moment, this doesn't have a pass-through. I don't know if there is a thought to have a pass-through in the future. And of course, some of the other cards out there do have a pass-through, so you could use that pass-through of something else. The other thing is, of course, these days, I mean, I don't even worry about having a network card in my SE30. I just use the built-in networking of the Zulu SCSI and the Blue SCSI. They've got that all now. That we have the technology. I'm looking for my pliers, by the way, just in case you're wondering why I'm just doing nothing at the moment. Did I go up to about this Mac? I don't think I did. Let's do it. And we should see now. Yep, there we go. System's now only taking 2 megabytes. That's more like it. Just a reminder to anyone who does want to do networking on these, if you're using an older system like System 7.1, be sure to install OpenTalk. You can get it from, I think it's called OpenTalk. You can get it from the Macintosh Garden, and I think it's like OpenTalk Gold Edition or something like that. And it makes networking so much easier because you can actually select TCP/IP. It feels a lot more like a modern networking thing. Does this one have it? Oh, let's have a look in the control panels. Yeah, this one has it. This has got it installed. This one has it. So you've got TCP/IP here. If you don't have it installed, you end up with a thing called Mac TCP, and it's poopy. It's really hard to work with. So here we go. So you've got all of that there. Now, of course, I don't have any networking on this at the moment. I could set it up with this SCSI that I got here. All right, so to satisfy curiosities of the peoples, I've got to change the ROMs over so we can be certain that it wasn't a ROM-related issue. So we're going to change the video ROM back, but it really does seem to me like the issue is with these RAM slots. Plus, I feel about 90% sure that the other issue was the was one of the RAM multiplexers. We just don't know which one because I changed them all. But I can tell you the person who owns this board will be happy, and I'll be happy too that I can get rid of the bloody thing. I've had it here for donkey's years. I've only got one more SE30 to repair here, and that one's got a problem with the analog board. It's a weird one. The video display, the top half of it is normal, but the bottom part of the display, about the bottom quarter, is all scrunched up. And I know the potential cause of that problem, but I've replaced that component and made no difference. So it's somewhere around there. It's had all its caps replaced, but I've got to go and figure it out. It's going to take some time. It's going to take money. A whole lot of precious money. All right. Right, let's try this again. Yep, worked. Definitely wasn't the ROM. So, yeah, feeling pretty confident now. The two faults were one of the RAM multiplexers and Dicky RAM slots. Have you tried? Oh, you know who reversing the polarity always worked for? Always worked for Doctor Who. That was the man. He was like, you know, you just imagine John Pertwee. These are the old Doctors I'm talking about, you know. I reverse the polarity. Yeah. A broken clip, yeah. This isn't mine, and there are no clips broken, and I want it to stay that way. So that when I get it back to him, if they get broken, they're his responsibility and not mine. One last thing I want to do before I call it a day with this little SE30 is I want to put the blinking RAM in, and I want to give him a really good yank. You know, really push down on them hard. See if I can get it to start with those in. Because I know those RAMs work. I used them, I tell you. I mean, unless some gunk has got in or something. I do like the blinky RAM. It's a nice gimmick. Oh, there's a bit of corrosion there. Might just clean that up. It's going to take time. Oh, lot of precious time. It's going to take patience and time to do it, to do it, to do it. Why am I singing a Travelling Wilbury song? Just going to clean here as well. Just see a little bit of corrosion there. Might need to give these an ultrasonic clean, these little RAM sims. Where do you get the multiplexer chips from? That's a very good question. Now, I'm not sure. I either just bought them from, you know, like somewhere like DigiKey or something like that. I'll do a quick Google search. So these are F258. So was it 74F258? I think that's the code that's on them. I think it's a 74. Yeah, 74F258. So I'm just going to do a quick little googlies on that. That's the wrong mouse. That mouse will not work. It's a George Harrison song, is it? I thought it was Travelling Wilburys. Okay. 74F258. I've got resin on this keyboard. Jaws of 3. Oh, that's not the same. That's not the right keyboard at all. 74F258. So we'll just see if anything comes up here. Looks like DigiKey have them. I'm just going to look. Choose your location. I'm in Australia. I'm in Australia. I will accept all cookies. Cookies. Me accept cookies. Okay, yeah. It looks like 1,826 in stock at DigiKey, so looking good. It's SN74F258D. There's a few here. There's 258N. Oh, that's the wrong package. 258DR, 258DRE4. It's probably just different package sizes. I don't know, maybe because they all seem to have the same description. But anyhow, and of course some are tape and reel and some are in a tube and all that. But anyhow, they got plenty in stock. So that's just good old-fashioned DigiKey. Yeah, cheapest chips. They I'm talking in Australian dollary dues here, but they're in a tube. They're $1.24 each. And of course, the thing with DigiKey, the main reason why I use DigiKey is once you get past, I think it's $40, something like that, delivery is free, and they're fast. I don't know if it's the same in the US, but for me with DigiKey, when I order, if I order, say, on a Tuesday, it'll usually arrive on a Friday. So it's usually about 3 days, sometimes 2. I've had a time when I've ordered on a Friday and it's been delivered on the Monday. So, yeah, they're really, really quick. And as I say, if I end up getting to the point where I'm a few dollars shy of the free delivery charge, I just buy a bunch of 47 microfarad 16 volt tantalum caps, because I go through so many of them, and I just pad it out until I'm over the free delivery amount. And yeah, 100 plus cheaper. Yeah, I know, but I don't often have enough money to buy 100 at a time. I don't make a whole lot of money, so. I'm going to check. We got to make sure we got to find who wrote this song. And I totally accept it probably is George Harrison, but yeah. What's the song called? I can't even think of what the song's called. But yeah, it does make sense that it was George Harrison. It absolutely does make sense it was George Harrison, because, because it's only his voice. There's none of all the other voices there. It was probably produced by Jeff Lynne, because so many songs that Jeff Lynne produces end up sounding like Jeff Lynne songs. And that's why so many of the Travelling Wilbury songs all sound the same, because, well, produced by Jeff Lynne. He's the guy from ELO. Right. All right, so I wanted to try this, didn't I? And I got distracted looking up chips. So here we go. So first of all, I'm just going to try it without doing anything. Oh, it worked. No, it didn't. It gave me the bad Mac chime. I'm going to now try pushing these down. No. Try pushing them back. Nope. Try pushing them forward. No. I'm at the point now where I would probably actually take these chips out, these SIMs, and check them in another computer to see if something hasn't gone wrong with them. But look, I'm really not overly fussed, because I know this works. And I know it's probably just these RAM slots. So I'm going to clean these RAM slots up to the best of my ability. I'm going to give the whole board an ultrasonic clean, so it'll be lovely and fresh and so clean. And then I'll try some of those other RAM sims. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm very happy with that, getting that working. Yeah, Max will be happy as well. This board belongs to Max. Max is the person who bought me a pizza one night when I was doing a live stream, because he knows my address. Because, ooh, what did I just do then? Oh, I've gone black and white. How's that? So here we go. We'll go the other way. Oh, so yeah, I was doing a live stream, a workshop and wine live stream, and I was saying, and we were talking about pizza. I'm like, I could go a pizza. Partway through the live stream, the doorbell rings. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's a pizza delivery person. I didn't order a pizza. Because I'm an honest person, you know. I'm just like, no, I can't take pizza I didn't order and everything. And then he just said, oh, it's from Max, you know. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, so obviously this is one way of getting around the problem with the ROM slot, but it doesn't get around the RAM slot. But if I remember correctly, Will, if you're still there, I believe Will sells some RAM for these that you can just solder in rather than having to be reliant on the slots. So you can just get like 16 meg SIMs and you can actually solder them straight in. So you take the old RAM slots out and then you just solder in RAM and keep it in there. Because let's face it, if you've got 16s in there, you're not going to need to take them out. You're not going to upgrade it. You're already taking it to its maximum. SIP RAM, there you go. And then, of course, there is another product that's come out that allows you to use RAM in the PDS slot. Now, of course, if you're using that, you can't stick the ROM in the PDS slot, but it's 256 megabytes of fast RAM. There's information about it on Tinker Different. Yeah. Solder in a header, and the new RAM have pins on the back of them to go into the header. There you go. Right, so that's where we are with this one here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm liking that. I have one last little project that I want to at least attempt while I'm here, and then I will be finishing the live stream. and that is, if I can find what I'm looking for, that is. Assuming I can find what I'm looking for. There it is. Is that it? Yeah. And that is, I do want to just quickly swap over the battery in my wireless mic. So this is this is the microphone that I use when I'm doing live streaming. It's called a Rode Wireless Go 2. Rode is an Australian company. I'm doing my best to support them. This little clip here that clips on also fits onto a camera shoe, so you can actually slide this, fit it onto a camera if you want to. Mind you wouldn't do that with this because this is the one that's the transmitter. What's really good about this now? Yes, I know what you're thinking. How can I be using it if I've got it in my hand? Well, I have two of them. So the base station, there's a base station over here plugged into the computer, and then I have this one, then I have a second one, and that second one is attached to my belt at the moment. This one is not holding a charge very well anymore, so I'm going to replace it. Now, they have a microphone built in. That's the microphone built in there. And there's even it comes with a little tiny wind sock that you can put in and turn around. So if you're in high wind, you can use that. You can plug an external microphone in here, and then you've got a USB-C port here. Now, one of the great things about this is not only is this a transmitter, it is also a self-contained recording device. So I can actually use this out on the road or something like that, and I can record audio onto it, and then I can just match it up with video when I'm editing later on. And I do that quite a lot now, because down here in this workshop, it's become so difficult for me to get good audio. I have to use this with the microphone right next to my mouth. Because whenever I use any other sort of mic, even if I'm using a shotgun mic that's only this far away from my mouth, I still end up with bird noise, chicken noise, car engine noise, my neighbour talking to his family back in Croatia. It is, you know, I'm in a shed here. Ultimately, I have very little sound protection, and there's just noise everywhere. I recorded some audio the other day, and I didn't even notice it. But when I got back in to start editing it, there was just a bird in the background just going chip, 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 constantly. Just did it the whole time I was recording, and I just got to the end and I was like, no, this sucks. I'm going to have to use this microphone here. I might look like a Wally with it on, but at the end of the day, it's the only way I can capture decent audio. Hate how some companies have begun to serialize batteries. Yeah, I hate that too. Okay. Okay, cool. Now, this is kind of glued together. It's like an Apple product in that regard. There's just some adhesive. You can get in under here and try and lift that up. I'm using a scalpel here, but you could probably use something else. And if you can get under that there, and then I'll see if I can. I've got to be careful. I don't like using a scalpel blade too much because you don't want to accidentally pop the battery or anything like that. The other one that I did, I replaced the battery in another one. It was much easier to replace. You know why? Because the battery had gone all spicy pillow. And so it actually pushed the case off. I didn't have to do anything. One of my chickens is saying hello at the moment. I think he's saying, why haven't you fed us yet? And that's a good question. And they've got food in their feeder, but they get their treats. And there have been no treats forthcoming today. Oh, balls. I thought this would be a really quick job, but it's clearly going to take me longer than I had originally anticipated. There we go. I feel like I'm getting some purchase now. Probably should have heated this up, shouldn't I? That's one of the things they say. It's all plastic though. It'll probably melt. Whoops. I just cracked it. Not overly concerned. I don't think it'll affect the sound quality. I'm sure, just a sort of tip to anyone if they're actually planning to do this themselves, don't do it the way I'm doing it, because I'm clearly not doing it very well. Hey! Ta-da! Right, so I'm going to have to change over to... Here we go. It's part of an antenna there, I guess. I'm going to change over to scope view because I need it. Oh, just getting warm. I want to see if I can reuse this sticky stuff so I don't have to put new sticky stuff on it. Oh man, that is on there. Okay, so this is the old battery here. Road branded, 3.8 volt, 350 milliamp hour. And here is my replacement over here. This says it's 380 milliamp hour. So it's, 30 better. Pretty good, eh? I know that I definitely get much better battery life out of the other one that I've replaced the battery on. So, oops. And there's a little bit of spongy stuff here. Can I get that off? Can I get that off without destroying it? Chicken's just coming to say hello. Hello. No, I can't get it off without destroying it, is the answer. Goes that way around, hang on. That way, that way, that way. It's got the same plugs, so that makes life easy. Don't have to put other plugs on. There we go. And then I'll probably just put some double-sided tape on it just to protect it a bit. What's that? Oh, I know what that is. I do a lot of that when I come down here. What's that? Oh, yeah, I remember. I've got double-sided tape that would be really good for this, but I don't think it's down here. It might be. Have a look. Oh, this'll do. This'll do. This stuff. This stuff. This stuff. I don't. You know, one of the things I don't have down here that I really do need is a pair of scissors. Okay. I'm not sure if this stuff is super sticky anymore. We'll just see. Which way around does it go? That way? I think it goes that way. That looks about right, doesn't it? There we go. I consider that a win. Yeah, the 3M red stuff is great. I used to have 3 rolls of it of different thicknesses. I've used the other 2 and I haven't replaced them, so I need to get some. This stuff is so freaking sticky. And it sticks to glass really well. So if you're like wanting to stick something onto, I don't know, car windscreen or something like that, this stuff is the bomb. There we go. Looks good to me. No one will know. Now all we have to do is check and see if it charges. So, have I got a USB-C here? Yeah, I do. There we go. Plug it in. And I don't even know if this is plugged in, to be honest. Oh no, here we go. I put it on upside down. What an idiot. There we go. Okay, it appears to be charging. That's great. I've just, mangled the plastic a little bit. It'll still function though. And then I'll just do a test to see if it works. So I'm going to power it on. Here we go. And in theory, you should hear it from this as well. Yep. Okay, it's definitely working with that one. Hello, coming from 2 microphones now. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm happy that that's done. So this is the one from the other one that I did, and as you can see, it's a little space there, a bit puffy, and then this is the other one. So I'm now set up with new batteries in both, so I'm feeling good. I'm ready to take on the world with audio. Right, well, I think it is probably time for me to wrap things up, so I'm just going to do this thing here. I'm going to get this thing here and just have a look. Got up to, well, it looks like I got up to about 60 viewers there for a little while, so thank you to everyone who has watched. As soon as I finish this, I am going to be continuing work on a YouTube video that I've got in production at the moment. It is, I don't want to say, it is kind of a little like the sort of stuff that Sean does and less like the stuff that I do. I tend to do a lot of these very large and elaborate projects, and Sean tends to do these smaller bite-sized projects. Well, I was in a situation where I feel like I needed to get some more content out, so I'm working on a smaller bite-sized project which is coming up, and it's basically repairing a vintage piece of equipment which is quite interesting. I'm hoping that people will have some interest in it, people who are vintage computer inclined. It's a really cool piece of tech that I bought on Facebook Marketplace quite some time ago. Haven't been able to test because it's had problems. So I'm in the process of repairing and restoring it so I can test it and then show it on the video. So I started working on that last night. I'm going to continue work on it today. Got to do some 3D printing with it. Got to do a little bit of mods and here and there and stuff. And hopefully be able to get it all working. So that should be coming out hopefully in the not too distant future. I've got an episode of Startup Disc is Full, so that's one of the little sort of, what would you call it, podcasty type things I do, vidcast, with Jay and Dana, and we just basically talk about tech. So in the olden days, if people are here, remember I used to be on the Mac Yak show with a few people, and we basically just came to the decision, some of us that were on that Mac Yak show, that we didn't want to just be talking about Mac stuff. We're still fairly Mac-centric, of course, because we're all Mac users, but we wanted to be able to just talk about any sort of tech. So we decided, let's start up our own show. We ended up calling it Startup Disc is Full because that's kind of be representative of our brains full of useless information. And yeah, it's my other channel. If people haven't had a look at it, please go and check it out. We just talk about stuff, just tech stuff. The last episode when we had Steve from Mac84 joining us as well, that one we talked about tech fails, and that was a lot of fun. We just had this list of tech fails that we talked about. On this latest episode, I can't even remember what we're talking about. Oh, hang on. That's right. We were talking... Oh, crap. I can't remember. Dana, Jay, someone, remind me. What was the show about? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the outtakes, yes. We don't always get those because they just happen when they happen, you know. But the episode we did with Steve, we ended up with a lot of outtakes because there was a lot of laughter and silliness going on. We haven't done the Zune yet in the tech files. It's on the list, but we haven't done it yet. But in the latest episode, we talked about far out. I can't bloody remember. I'm going to have to look it up because this is going to drive me bonkers. We've got notes. We'll have notes so I can look it up. Okay, this one is, has technology improved our lives? And this is going to be one that we're going to come back to because there's no way you can sort of talk about all technology at once. But in this one, we talked about streaming services. We talked about phones, mobile phones, a couple of other things as well. So it's going to be a sort of a series that we run of has technology made our lives better, and we're just going to be talking about ultimately the pros and cons of a lot of the new technology that we use at the moment. So yeah, Startup Disc is definitely full. Yeah, so that's if you've got us. The shows go on for a bit, but they're not really meant to be something that you sit there and watch like that. It's meant to be something you kind of have on in the background if you're looking for a bit of entertainment while you're doing something. And thank you for the subscription, appreciate it. Yeah, and we have a lot of fun making it. So at the end of the day, I mean, whether people watch it or not, we're not overly fussed because we have a good old laugh while we're doing it. We do have to cut out some of the stuff we say, mind you, so keep it PG. But we keep most of the stuff in. It does have a swear word warning at the beginning, so for obvious reasons. And we do try not to swear just straight out of the gates. A few minutes in. Its startup disk is full, and the icon is like a orange hazard thingy. Yeah. So okay. Once again, everyone, thank you for joining me here for this live stream. Anyone who's watching this on the replay, a big thank you to you as well for watching it. Feel free to say hello in the comments. Everyone who has been in the chat, thank you for keeping the chat lively. It has been really, really good today. There's been lots of stuff going on, lots of chitter-chat. As usual, of course, a big thank you to Kay for sending this to me for testing. This is not only, I think, a really handy piece of equipment, this is something I will be using. So I mentioned that SC30 I've got there, it's got a really dicky ROM slot, and I am going to be using this in it. So that's absolutely a very, very handy tool. It's not for everyone. If you've got an SC30 and it's all working, you don't need to go out and buy this for no apparent reason. But for those people out there that are having problems with the ROM slot, yeah, there it is. I will be putting a link in the description for where to get it from. Is Kay still there? Because he can always put a link in. Let me just check. I'm not even sure if Kay is a moderator on the channel, but I'll check if he is. I'll have to go back away to find him. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Okay, there he is. He's not. I'm going to have to mod him. There we go. So, here we go. Add as a moderator. So there you go. Okay. All right. Save. There we go. So, there we go. If K is still around, he can probably put in a link now. He can because you have to have special privileges to put in a link. But anyhow, if he's not there, I will put a link to this product in the description of the video for anyone who's watching it later on. I didn't put it in before because the link didn't exist until yesterday. All right. Okay, so thanks again. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you had fun checking out this new cool thing. And I hope to see you at the next live stream. And I may even do another one like in a couple of days. We'll just have to see how things work out. But once again, thank you to you all. Hope you have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.